The first quote I'd like to talk about is that friends have all things in common. To me, I feel it's very important that if two people are going to become friends, that they do have a lot of things in common. Otherwise, they just wouldn't become friends. For mine and Martin's case, we both like to play FIFA, both like the Yankees, like to watch the same sports, football team, both like the Patriots. Um, Hobbies, both like to ski and play sports, baseball, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty important that two people, if they're gonna become friends, they have the same interests. And I think that because we have so many things in common, that's what makes us such good friends. We both went to the same high school, grew up kind of the same areas, same living style, and now we're here at the same college, both roommates. Just moving forward life and seeing where that takes us. But the most important thing is that we both have things in common and we agree on a lot of things, I guess. Of course, we have our differences on some things, but I think it's pretty important that we both um, have a lot of things in common. The next thing I want to talk about is the quote that said, "In everything we were halves." That pretty much applies to my friendship with Kyle because we literally did almost everything together since we've been friends. We started being real good friends in summer of junior year. I knew him before then, but we never really hung out or anything. And summer of junior year, I started to hang out with him, get to know him more, and that's when I found out he's a real cool kid. And we both have a lot of things that we do share in common. And then, furthermore, we pretty much were halves and everything. We both worked at the same place, and when we were there, we had the same schedule. So work was never boring because you're always with your friends, people so that kind of makes the time go by a little bit faster. Literally, he was at my house almost every day this summer, and if he wasn't at my house, we were at his. He's got a pool, so we went over there a few times. Um, but literally everything we did, he included me, I included him, and everything. So, it's good that you have like a friend who you can call your best friend, and they're always going to be there for you when you need them. Like, you're never going to have a boring moment because you always have your friends there. Going along with the quote that says, "In everything we were halves," there's actually, it's true because Martin is like, I can consider him my other half, and he thinks for me sometimes, and sometimes I think for him. Just the other day we were walking past Ron Colley, and I was like, "Dude, don't forget, you have a meeting there real soon." And he's like, "Oh, wow, I completely forgot about that." And so there's times when I look out for him, and I guess you can say I'm his other half, but and then there's times for me when he's always thinking and looking out for me, and that's what makes friends truly best friends. Is when they can put themselves on the same level as their friend and look out for each other at the same time. So when relating that back to the quote, we pretty much were halves and everything. Like I said, he was over my house all the time and pretty much became part of the family. My parents, they really like him, and they're glad I have a friend like him who's always there. He's a good kid, and he's always there to help me out. So it's good that I'm there to help him out too. The last quote I wanted to talk about was the one by Elizabeth Stanton saying, "We've indulged freely in criticism of each other when alone." And that quote is definitely true about our friendship. When we're in a group of people, and obviously we're not bashing each other and calling each other out, but when we get to the dorm room, it's a different story. He'll tell me the truth. I'll tell him the truth. If he's playing a song, I think it's stupid, I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing? Get that crap off." And if I'm wearing something that looks stupid, he's not afraid to tell me. He'll be like, "Dude, you look like an idiot right now." And you know, sometimes it leads us to little arguments. You guys know about the broken hand story, and sometimes we get into little fights here and there. But I think that's what makes a friendship stronger is the ability to criticize your friend when you're alone, one on one. It's like if you can't tell the person the truth, and then they're truly not your friend. And they might be an acquaintance, but unless you can physically sit there with the person and tell them how it is, and then they're really not a true friend. So for us, like I said, there's been times when he said straight to my face, I'm acting like I don't know, I'm acting out, and and it offends him or something, I take that into consideration. It's like you got to take a step back and be like, wow, if my true friend is telling me that I'm doing something wrong, then I really got to be, because he's the person who's always there for me, and he knows how I am at my best, and he knows how I am at my worst, and so if there's anyone I got to take advice from and listen to, it's him, because and you don't want to lose a person as a friend, and that's the one thing you don't want to do, and especially with our case, we're best friends, like done everything together, so it's just something we got to keep going. And I think that one of the greatest things about our friendship is that we both actually have the ability to not just be so close-minded. We're open-minded about a lot of things. Actually, Kyle didn't really, he's never skied before became friends with him, and skiing was one thing that I did almost every day in the winter, so I love to ski, and I was like, dude, you should really try skiing. I think you'll like it, and at first he was like, I don't know if I want to ski, dude, it's a big hill, and it's a challenge, and I was like, no, dude, trust me, I think you'll like it, and I actually went up with him his first time, and actually tried to teach him how to ski, and we have a little local mountain here at our town. So yeah, we went up our first time actually, and at first he didn't like it at all. He kept falling and he wasn't really grasping the concept of it. And then I was like, well, maybe you should try it this way. And eventually he got the hang of it, and he's like, wow, I guess that skiing really is fun. He eventually got to like it, and then we went more than once. We went a few times, and the more he did it, the better he got, and then the funner it became. So I guess the moral of that is, I mean, that wasn't one thing that we had in common in the beginning, is, the interest of skiing. That was my interest, and it was something that I kind of imposed on him, and, he didn't think he would like it, but it turns out that, he really did like skiing. So friends, even if they don't have things in common at one point, I'm sure, they could get to a point where, wow, I guess they do have some things in common that they never knew.